The question I have is, why didn't you know how many ingredients were in here if you buy this product? Because you would assume it's just oat milk, right? We're conditioned to assume whatever's written on the package is what's inside.
Oat milk. Folks, oats in the United States have glyphosate, even if it says organic. And oats are also sprayed with another herbicide that has been shown to cause cancer. It's illegal in the United States, and yet the EPA allows it to be present in our oat milk.
The overwhelming majority of oat-based food, including Cheerios, have tested positive for a pesticide that's linked to infertility in animals. The little-known chemical chlormequat was found in 92% of oat-based foods sold in May 2023, including Quaker Oats. Some studies have shown the pesticide can damage the reproductive system and disrupt fetal growth in animals, which raises concerns about whether it could also harm humans, according to the Environmental Working Group. According to an EWG study, the chemical was detected in 77 of 96 urine samples taken between 2017 and 2023, and levels increased in the most recent years.
When it comes to oat milk, stay away from popular brands like these two. These are not organic, loaded with fillers and junk ingredients.
Make sure that whenever you put something in your mouth, that something is going to complement you and that it's going to serve you well. It's going to support your nervous system. Because if you don't, you will find yourself stressed. Not only are you going to find reasons to dislike me, you're going to dislike yourself.
Oat and plant-based milk lovers have been kept in the dark all this while. But what if I told you there's something far more sinister lurking beneath that creamy surface? You've been deceived, misled, and manipulated by those who want you to believe in this so-called healthy option.
Plant-based dairies are highly processed and they contain harmful additives like carrageenan, gums, artificial flavors. Just this one thing, for example, carrageenan has been linked to crazy inflammation and massive gut disruption, and you wonder why your belly feels off when you have an oat milk latte. Not to mention the way that plant-based milks are loaded with sugars which can spike your blood sugar level and lead to weight gain. And if you were to see the way these plant-based foods were processed to give you the milk that you're eventually drinking, you would realize there's no nutrition left and you're just eating filler. Lastly, when you flip the bottle over and you read the label on these plant-based milks, you're going to find that a lot of them are cut with vegetable and seed oils, which we know is destroying our health.
With insights from renowned health experts such as Dr. Bobby Price, Dr. Sebi, and Dr. Barbara O'Neill, whether you buy oat milk or another plant-based milk product from the shelves, you'd probably rethink every sip of this processed milk if you knew what actually happens during its journey from the farm to the shelves. As Dr. Eris Latham opined, it's all been muddled.
I know that the three essential foods in life are sunshine, oxygen, and living water, and I am to extract those from the plants. So don't tell me about plant-based either. Come on now, I am a linguist. When I hear plant-based food, what the heck is on the base? If plant is the base, what did you lace it with? Some frog doo-doo? Some nanoparticles? Some GMO? Some chemicals? Or whatever?
Companies like Oatly make you believe that their oat milk is the best thing that happened to your health. But here's the truth. These kinds of milk are loaded with high amounts of chemicals and sugars, cleverly disguised to mimic the taste of real milk.
Oat milk. How many ingredients do you think are in that? I'll give you a hint. When I make mine at home, I have 2 ingredients, oats and water. Whereas this one is smooth and creamy and gluten-free with 0 sugar. But this has 17 ingredients in it. Now, some of those are vitamins and minerals, but it does contain oat base, vegetable oil, dipotassium phosphate, locust bean gum, salt, gellan gum, sodium ascorbate, tocopherols, and amylase. That's too much stuff. So the question I have is, why didn't you know how many ingredients were in here if you buy this product? Because you would assume it's just oat milk, right? We're conditioned to assume whatever's written on the package is what's inside.
2-time cancer survivor Ernie Hudson, who is passionate about natural healing, has stressed the importance of oats in his healing journey.
Love to eat is oatmeal. This is the one thing I can cook because actually it's 1 cup of water and a half a cup of oats. We never know what the future hold. I've had 2 bouts of cancer, so we can't say what's going to happen, but as best I can.
Yes, oat is that essential. So it seems like a genius idea for brands to transform a health essential into a milk alternative. Indeed, it was a game changer. Brands like Oatly propelled this idea and launched in 2012, presenting to the world their revolutionary blend of water and oats that looks, tastes, and even foams like real milk. Oatly's widespread marketing strategy made the world believe that its oat milk is a healthier option. Despite its higher price tag compared to dairy milk, consumers have continuously been won over. Back in the day, the only available milk was dairy milk, sourced from cows. As time went on, lactose-intolerant people became a thing. For Dr. Sebi, most people of African and Indian origin are in this category.
But if your ancestors are Africans and Indians, your body is not programmed to digest milk.
Barbara O'Neill, a natural health enthusiast, has often spoken against such food modification.
That is compromised. We're now not getting the proper nourishment.
Plant-based milks are much cheaper, yet oat and other plant-based milks are sold at overpriced value. The truth is that oat is not a natural source of milk and can never be. According to Dr. Sebi, it can never give its natural energy if it's not natural.
That your body is talking to you. It is telling us you are hungry.
Have you ever heard of Roundup? Well, this is a popular weed killer used in the fields where these oats are grown. Roundup seems to be doing great work, but it comes with a great health risk for us consumers. It contains an active ingredient known as glyphosate, and the WHO has tagged this ingredient as carcinogenic to humans.
I can just about assure you it'll have Roundup on it because they use Roundup to kill the top, the top of the green top, because when that top dies then they can harvest it. But absolutely it's also, they've genetically modified so many plants to resist Roundup so they can keep spraying the field.
That's not even the real issue here. The non-detectable level of glyphosate in products like oat milk should be our concern because how do you discover what is killing you when you can barely detect it? It seems like one of the hidden truths these brands do not want you to know. Sadly, we've all been greenwashed. Oat milk brands like Oatly, Chobani Oat, Silk Oatmeal, Oatsum, and the like must really think we are dumb. The whole sugar-free oat milk posed by these plant-based brands is all a charade. It's like saying there's no sugar. But sugar is the major ingredient.
Oat milk with coffee can spike your blood sugar 3 times more than regular milk with coffee. The reason has to do with the fact that oat milk has some added sugar and carbohydrates, whereas the dairy in regular milk actually improves your insulin sensitivity and lowers your blood sugar.
Well, here's the open secret recipe for how these commercial oat milk brands make their products irresistibly sweet. It all lies in one trick: amylase, a harmless digestive enzyme added to oats during processing. This enzyme breaks down starches into simple sugars, casting a sweet spell on our taste buds. Do you think that's the problem? Absolutely not. The real concern is the excessive amount of amylase used, the alarming quantity used to achieve that perfect level of sweetness that everyone is addicted to. What's FDA actually doing about what goes on inside the processing room? Little or nothing. Even natural health experts like Dr. Bobby Price are of the view that the FDA isn't doing its work.
The food is so toxic today is because the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, FDA, is not FDAing. They're not doing their job.
Now, with the breakdown done by amylase, a form of sugar called maltose is formed, and this sugar is sickeningly sweet. The surprising thing is that white sugar has a glycemic index of 65, while lactose has 46. But guess what? The glycemic index of maltose is a whole 105. Consuming such a high amount of sugar can lead to insulin resistance. The human body at every point tries to maintain only 4 grams of sugar at all times, utilizing the pancreas through insulin, which reduces blood sugar, sending it to the cells to be converted to energy. But with the addictive consumption of oat milk that contains more than 20 grams hidden quantity of sugar in a small pack, imagine the dilemma that goes on within the body. The overwhelmed insulin becomes resistant.
And the person actually starts getting very, very tired because hardly anything's happening in here because of the insulin resistance they're set up. It's a terrible situation. The current figures are 400 diabetics diagnosed every week in Australia. That's alarming, isn't it?
Of course, it doesn't end with insulin resistance. That is just the invitation for other health-wrecking illnesses. With insulin resistance comes high blood sugar in the system. The reason is very simple. Insulin is unable to convert sugar to energy, so the body is left overpacked with sugar. One of the health issues associated with insulin resistance in women is that the body becomes unable to convert testosterone into estrogen, resulting in hormonal imbalance, PCOS, and ovulation irregularities. As for men, low production of testosterone leads to erectile dysfunction and infertility, amongst others. Generally, with so much sugar in the blood, the heart begins to find it difficult to pump blood because of the weight. And you can already imagine what comes next. As expected, Dr. Bobby Price, like other experts, has associated diabetes with high sugar consumption in America.
So these are all just things that come from elevated insulin as a result of elevated blood sugar. And if you start to think about it, Americans consume 152 pounds of unnatural sugar every year. It makes sense that diabetes is affecting half of the population.
Coming back to what goes on during oat milk production, here's another thing you need to know. Just mixing oat, amylase, and water isn't just what makes up the packaged oat milk you buy. I bet you wouldn't want to buy oat milk that flows like water. You'll probably assume it's even spoiled, right? That is why these brands use trans fat to achieve the consistency you notice in the oat milk. You heard that right. Trans fat is an artificial, unhealthy fat derived from adding hydrogen to vegetable oil to make them more solid and increase shelf life. Take Oatly, for instance. Rapeseed oil is among the ingredients used to producing its oat milk. But this is what they don't want you to know. Behind what is written, there is an adulterated version infused with hydrogen to maintain the consistency of the oat milk on the shelf. Trans fat is a major contributor to belly fat, heart disease, weight gain, and eventually obesity. Yet we can't get enough oat milk and other sugary plant-based milk products, ignoring our body's warning signs.
Consuming excess sugar or unnatural sugar in the form of high fructose corn syrup, maltodextrose, I can go on and on. Again, as I said before, I talk about this in my book. There's over 75 different names for the type of sugars that they're using in the food that they put in processed unnatural food.
As Dr. Sebi warned, consistently craving something without feeling satisfied may be your body's way of alarming you that something is certainly off.
More you eat, the body keeps saying, I'm still hungry. And you eat some more, and I'm still hungry. You eat some more, and I'm still hungry. And you begin to buy these larger dresses without realizing that your body is talking to you. It is telling us you are hungry.
Unfortunately, oat milk got everyone wrapped up in its untrue, healthier alternative charade and sweetness. It's one against our health. Thought it was over? No way. There's more. Your favorite oat milk and other plant-based milk you buy off the shelves contain DKP, dipotassium phosphate. Wondering what this is? Well, it's a synthetic emulsifier that helps blend water and oil. Water and oil are not the best buddies to fit into a place. So while processing oat milk, DKP has to be added to effectively mix the water, trans fat, oat, and amylase together. It's like birds that kill flock together. The interesting part? It gives the oat milk the foam you enjoy seeing. Now, to the potential health issues associated with DKP that you will definitely not enjoy. Imbalance in body phosphate, bone issues, kidney damage, and gastrointestinal issues. Need I say more? Without a doubt, the oat milk and plant-based brands have not just deceived the public with their marketing strategy, claiming to produce milks that are sugar and chemical-free. They've meddled with our health while making you and I believe in falsehood. It's so bad that brands like Oatly tag the area where the ingredients used in making their milk are written as the boring side. Is it really boring? Or do they not want us to find out what's killing us? Believe it or not, oat milk or other plant-based milk products you buy from the shelves are not the healthier option. It's been a big, fat lie all along. Call it enzymes, modified oils, additives, or colorings, all of which exist in that pack of artificial milk. And guess what? They are fighting against your well-being. If you must take plant-based milk, here's what to do. Make it at home and save yourself. Start and fuel your well-being with nature.